Okay, I think we're going.
Okay, good. I feel like we have to start this one since we were off last week with a huge congratulations because it was like a big cliffhanger. You know, two people from the gym going to fight.
Yeah.
And then nobody comes on and does a podcast and talks about what happened. And it was good.
It was awesome. Yeah, Elise Pone won second round TKO. Her opponent couldn't answer the bell. And then Pete Busby, three round unanimous decision.
Yeah, you know, and just saying it like that, it doesn't sound nearly as exciting as it was watching it. I have a rule because I use my voice for my living. I do not scream at sporting events. Even if you let me go to a Penguins hockey game or a Steeler game, I will clap. Every once in a while, I'll be like, yeah, but that's it. I don't scream it. I'm not going to lose my voice at a sporting event. I need it too much. I was losing my voice at the sporting event. I was screaming like crazy because
It's a fight. It's
a fight with people you care about.
Yeah, and yeah. So in a sport, sure, people can get hurt and whatnot, but whenever people are fighting, you don't know what's going to happen until it's over. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think it's different, and you're right. So you care about them. You have a personal connection with them. I've always said that martial arts is it's really one of the only sports, if you will, that you get to go watch your heroes and then you can actually hang out with them.
Yeah.
And, you know what I mean? Or the people you're watching are people you hang out with every day. How cool is that?
Right. And you've worked with, and you're like, ooh, watching Miss Elise, there was one, she hit the girl with one kick and I was like, oh, I got that last week during sparring and I know that hurts. Yep. I know that hurts her. And Pete got the dude with a knee and I was like, well, I have a bruise still from Pete knees, and he's not kneeing me with the intent to beat me.
Sure.
So I'm getting a 25% knee. That guy just got 100% ouch.
Yeah. Yeah. It's interesting too, how I always say it. I say, you don't know what it's going to feel like cardio wise and nerve wise until you actually do it. And so it's without question, the third round for Pete, he admittedly, had less energy, he wasn't gassed, but that was also part of our strategy. Was I think it was a 10-8 round for the first two rounds. Yeah. So the third round, I said to Pete, I said, listen, this guy's going to come out. He's going to try knocking your block off because the only way he can win is by knocking you out. And I said, play it safe. You don't need to quote unquote win this round on points, but try, but you don't need to go all out.
Don't stop protecting yourself.
Sure. Exactly. Yeah. So that was the plan. But anyways, the third round, he comes back. And he was like, oh, I didn't have any energy. I was exhausted. And that's how it is, So that third round, Pete may have been the 25% that you experience in sparring. Right. That might've been what he was going with,
Right.
So.
But it was great to watch it and watching you do it too. You stay calm the whole time, but I heard you yelling certain things out. At one point the guy just kept catching Pete's round kick.
Sure.
So you just said step into it.
Yep.
Step into it, and then he'd go to catch it. He'd drop his hand and pow.
Yep. Well, with everything we do, there should be a sequence to it. So, and it's all, it's a choose your own adventure kind of thing. You kick, they catch it. Okay, next time you kick, so they don't catch it, you do this. Or you do that and they actually catch it again. Okay, now you have two other things that you can do. So that was the next counter, if you will, was, okay, he's catching your kick. If you do a hop into it kick, that fakes. The guy thinks it's about to come, and then you kick him whenever he's trying to catch it. The leg isn't there. So.
Exactly. And then as far as Miss Elise goes, in the second round, you just saw a switch was flipped.
Yeah.
And she just turned it on, and I was like, whoa.
At the very end of the first round, too. I've really drilled that into her, that the last 10 seconds, when you hear that of the, they usually have a wood block. Or sometimes they have a cowbell. But as soon as you hear that, you have 10 seconds and then you're done. So if you still have energy left, you just blast them. And then that seals the round for you, seals the deal.
I thought she was going to knock the girl out, and then it was a TKO, which is the same thing. If they had let it go, there was no way she was ever getting off the ropes. Ms. Elise had her pinned.
Sure. Yeah. Now, so her opponent got a standing 8 count. And what that means is the ref steps in and says, whoa, you're getting the crap kicked out of
And
you.
you're not
Or-
doing anything to stop it.
Yeah, or he sees that the opponent got rocked, and then he'll standing 8 count. Make sure you're okay. And then at the end of the 8 count, she just said she's done.
That was it.
You know, so
That was it.
TKO.
And the only other thing I'll say, and the credit goes to you and to them, we might not be the only gym that was doing this, but I couldn't believe how many people get into the ring without bowing. Nobody shows respect. It's weird. People would show respect back to Miss Elise or back to Pete, but nobody goes out of their way to show anybody respect at those fights. Like, I was kind of surprised at that. Dudes were just showboating and dancing their way into the ring, and our guys just go in and I don't even know what it's called, but they're like sealing off the ring.
they seal the ring. Yeah, the traditions that go along with it. I feel like I touched base on this in a previous podcast.
A little bit, but I'd never seen it until this.
Sure.
And then other schools don't seem to be emphasizing it, which is why I bring it up again.
Yeah, you saw a lot of the newer amateur fighters as well. We left before the second half of the card, and in fact, if you go to that one website, which I don't know, let me see what it is. You can actually see the rest of the fights that were that night, and some of them will do that. It's futureofthegame.tv. And then
you can just search it by fighter and stuff like that too.
Yeah. But yeah, when you get in, you show respect. There's a lot of little, I call them traditions, but they're to ward off evil spirits and whatnot that comes from Thai boxing in Thailand, and so they have a whole bunch of these rituals that they go through. Like I said, I call them traditions rather than rituals, but that's what they are. And each one kind of does its own thing, and sealing the ring kind of seals out any negative energy. And, that's kind of the idea. So we carry that over from our Thai boxing lineage. That's what Ajahn Chai wants us to do. So that's what we do. We seal the ring, we show respect and whatnot. And that's carrying over that tradition. Now, for gyms that don't have a direct connection with Muay Thai from Thailand, they're not used to all that. And the American kind of mindset is, I don't want to say more of like an FU, but it's
fighting mad.
Yeah, and why would I want to do something if I don't have to? You know what I mean?
I'm not dancing around the ring.
Sure, exactly. So I think that's where that comes from, is they don't want to do it because it's never been part of what they've done. So why would they do it now?
Right.
Where we really respect the art, and we respect the fact that Muay Thai started in Thailand, and this is how they do it, and we would like to respect their traditions.
Now, you've got the traditions. Do you, as a coach, now separate this from superstitions? Do you have any, or as a fighter, did you have any superstitions?
Nope.
Like, I have to wear this certain foot wrap, or
No,
I have to...
I will only fight with my mask for stick fighting. I won't fight with somebody else's mask, and the reason is I'm used to it. I'm used to fighting with that mask, but no,
But it's not a lucky mask?
No, I don't have superstitions at all. Those are, and another, I bring them up a lot, but Conor McGregor, which he's an interesting thing we can touch base on today as well. Traditions are fears. That's all they are. Sorry, superstitions are fears. They're manifestations of fear. So if I do this, then this isn't going to happen. If I do that, then that's not going to happen. Okay, so I have 10,000
totally
little things,
irrational.
Yeah. I mean, if you're to the point where you need to touch your gloves together and look side to side and, do all of these little things before you can get in the ring, it's getting a little bit to be more of a superstition and whatnot.
Well, that's me right now. I call it a stupid stition.
Yeah,
like this bushy sucker right here.
There you go.
It's getting a little weird. It's getting gross.
Yeah.
And I normally would trim it by now, but I am a Pittsburgh Penguins fan, and they're playing the Washington Capitals right now in the Stanley Cup playoffs, and they're up 3-1. It's playoff beard. I can't cut it. I can't trim it. You can trim the neck you
can't cut any of this.
Yeah, and you can't even touch the neck on a game day.
Ooh.
So like tomorrow night, I hope they close out the series, but it could go till June if they win the Stanley Cup.
Wow.
This beard is just going to keep growing until they get eliminated.
Huh.
And my wife, I feel like, is secretly and silently rooting against the Penguins so I can shave.
So you can shave.
Right.
There you go.
It's getting weird. So I get it. It's stupid.
That's
stition.
kind of a funny, fun one, though.
It's just like you're part of a thing. It's like people grow beards during hockey season.
Yeah, that's different.
But if you asked me to shave it right now, offered me $100, I'd say no, thank you.
Yeah.
I'd say no, thank you.
What's the price?
I don't know what the price. I want them to beat the Capitals. I don't have a price.
There's no price. No, there has to be a price.
There's probably a price. You could reach a price.
$1,000.
I would shave it.
You would shave it for $1,000?
I think I would shave it for $1,000.
I was ready to go up to like 10,000.
I would shave it for $1,000. You could have said free month's membership to the gym. I'd be like, get a razor. Get out a razor. I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and do it. I mean, whatever. Because my wife watches this and she'd be like, you said no to $1,000 for that stupid facial hair?
She might pay it.
There
you go.
She's just as broke as me. So we're in trouble. All right.
Oh, but no, superstitions, traditions, rituals.
The rituals and traditions, I think, are important, but the superstitions.
Yeah, well, like I said, there are rituals that, if I don't do this, and this in the locker room before I go out, I'm gonna lose. People think that like that has nothing to do with it. You know what I mean?
If you drop your hand and telegraph your kicks, you're going to lose.
Yeah, exactly. And the other big one is that fighters touch on is like no sex before fights or no sex fight weeks because...
I'm not going to dive too deep into your personal relationship.
Sure.
But I will ask this. Did you subscribe to that notion?
No, it's a superstition.
You're like, I'm fighting tomorrow.
It doesn't matter.
Let's just go for it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Weak legs, they say.
There
Gives
you go.
Weak legs.
But often, or no, every time.
I don't know what kind of sex they're having. My legs are never that weak when I'm done.
Every time I've fought, though, Brooke has never come to any of my fights, and I have always either fought in Los Angeles or Toronto. I fought in Baltimore, but she's never come to any of those fights. Now that's usually a pretty long trip that I'll go on. So
is it because it's a long trip, or is it because she couldn't watch you fight?
She doesn't like to watch me fight. To this day, she's never even been to like a jiu-jitsu tournament. But no, that's all that is. She just doesn't like to watch me fight. And I don't need any more distractions. You know what I mean? She would probably be a distraction in some way.
So if you went to fight, you wouldn't want everybody there? I feel like I would
No, it's different. Like if it's family that I have to interact with on a daily basis, that they're used to that daily interaction. I don't need that when I'm about to fight.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Some people, they need to be able to hug their wife and their kids before they go out. I don't think there's very many of those. You look at all the UFC fighters and stuff. In fact, it'd be interesting to get some kind of poll. None of them, some of them will hug their family before they go in the octagon or the ring, but they're not back in the locker room. We had one fighter that, their significant other, I won't say if it was male or female, or if they were male or female, just to kind of keep their identity hidden. But their significant other would not leave them alone for the whole warm-up process. Like just right there, are you okay? Is there anything I can get for you?
That's the worst.
Do you need a hug? You're doing great. During the warm, and it got to the point where I said, get out, leave, because the fighter was just like, oh my god, and then there was cuddling and get out
and start freaking out. You could send them into a brain panic.
Yeah. It was.
I wouldn't want that.
It was unhealthy. You know what I mean? You don't need that when you're about to go out and battle. For in a lot of ways your life. You know what I mean? That's at least how I look at it. You don't need that additional emotional stress.
No, I just need you looking at me saying, you're going to kill this guy. You're going to rip his face off. You're going to, whatever you say. I don't know.
Yeah. It's usually not that. Because now here's the other thing.
That's what I would need. Though.
Yeah. This is probably 5 or 6 years ago, but we did have like the people that would say that, like, you're going to kill them. You're going to blah, 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 blah. You're going to crush them, all this stuff. And the reality is you don't know.
You don't know.
They don't know, I don't know. So why would you say stuff like that? It's kind of.
What would you say? I'm confident that you'll do all right.
Yeah, you'll do great. You'll do great.
You're gonna do what
you're gonna do awesome. It's fine to say kick some butt. But
don't die.
Yeah, there you go.
Don't die. Like that's why I wouldn't want my kids at a fight if I were to fight. Because I'd be afraid of nobody wants to see dad get knocked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that wouldn't be good. But no. The whole traditions before fights and whatnot. Like I said, traditions are different. Superstitions get a little bit weird. Rituals get a little bit weird.
Do families show up with people at dog brother fights?
Sure. Yeah, all the time.
They go to that. So it's not just the dog pack. It's not just the gathering.
No, now there are tribal gatherings, and normally at the tribal gatherings, you don't, families don't. It's just dog brothers that go to it, which talk about an experience. I've been to several tribal gatherings.
Is that the one where you were in like a horse pen, face down in the dirt with some dude underneath you?
Yeah, so here's how it went. So that was the second, I want to say the second tribal gathering ever. The first one was like 20 years before that. And then they said, hey, we're going to do a 3-day gathering where you fight for 3 days.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And I'm like, woohoo, I'll do this.
In the dirt, in the middle of the desert.
I didn't know where it was going to be. So I subscribed to it and I said, yes, I'm going to do this. And then they said, oh yeah, it's in the middle of the Temecula desert and there's a horse corral and that's where we're going to fight. So that's where we fought for 3 days. It's interesting. You know, we were talking off air a little bit about fear and whatnot. And, this little thing right here.
Oh, we're gonna
We'll get to this,
but that's a cattle prod.
Yes, but fear. Talk about a very very interesting way to get over fear. So the first fear that you have is for your first fight, and it turns into it's not anxious energy, it's excited energy. And honestly, the adrenaline's pumping through me right now just thinking about it. So that first fight, you get that out of the way, and then you can pretty much fight for the rest of the day. And every time you go in, you might be a little bit concerned, but for the most part, you're really relaxed through the day. Then you go home and go to sleep, and then you wake up the next day and you say, I'm going to go do this again.
Sore as heck, probably.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The second day. My second day of the first tribal gathering I did, which they only did one, I think they only did one other 3-day gathering. The second day was my worst out of all of the tribal gatherings. The first day I didn't get hurt as much. The second day I got hurt the most. And then that 3-day gathering, then you go home after the second day and you're beaten up and everything. And you go, I can't believe I'm going to go back and do this again tomorrow. And then you wake up and you go and you do it again.
Was that the time that you were eating breakfast with someone and they were like, sir, could you pull the bandage off my stomach because it's fused to my skin with blood?
Yeah, he's probably one of my favorite fighters of all time in Dog Brothers. His name's Mike Norell. He little backstory on him. He always wore something goofy. It was either goofy shorts or a goofy like tuxedo rash guard. He had a good sense of humor when it came to what he was wearing. So when it came time to name him, I always said he was so corny, so I named him
Corny Dog.
Close. Corn Dog.
Corn Dog.
Corn Dog.
Corn Dog works.
I offered up the name. I didn't name him, but I said, yeah, I really think your name should be Corn Dog. So anyways,
is he Corn Dog?
He's candidate Corn Dog. So anyways, yeah, we're sitting down at breakfast one morning. I think it was the second day. No, yeah. So this was this was, I don't know, it wasn't the 3-day gathering. It must have been another 2-day tribal gathering. We're sitting down. He's eating his Fruit Loops. And he goes, I think I'm going to wait until after breakfast to pull my underwear off my hip scab.
Oh.
Wow. His underwear was stuck to a scab on his hip by I think he got suplexed onto the dirt by, who was that? I think it was Boo Dog.
Man, man.
And he just shredded up because it was in the middle of a horse corral. The first thing we had to do the first year we were there was we had to remove all the poop, the hard poop. I mean, it was just poop in there. You know?
Of course.
So we had to remove all the hard poop, and we had to remove the rocks so no one hit their head on anything. But it's just dirt, and by dirt I mean,
dusty dirt road dirt,
dusty poop. I mean, it was mostly just poop, but it was dusty. Yes, I mean it was dirt. But yeah, so getting slammed onto a dirt horse corral, not fun. So,
but there are weapons that are used in Dog Brothers, and that's what we're getting into, and that's why I keep looking at this cattle prod. I don't know what order to do this in. Do we talk about the weapons and then bring out the cattle prod, or do you just want to get the cattle prod over with?
Well, let's talk. I'm curious of your fear. So, what are you scared of?
I don't know why you have this part of your brain missing where you don't have fear of things like getting shocked with a cattle prod.
I do. I do have a healthy amount of fear.
I feel like it's reasonable to be like, I don't want that.
It's not. Yeah, it's not something most people want. I posted a quote. Let me make sure I get this right. Today, where is it? If I can find it. Use your fear. This is Amelia Earhart. Use your fear. It'll take you places where you store your courage. Yes. That is why I tend to do things that I am scared of.
But what is this going to do for us?
Nothing. You were the one that was interested in it, so I made you commit to it.
I was interested in looking at the weapon, and you were like, "Well, we're just going to cattle prod you." And you do this with everything. You're like, you're gonna finish that sushi. You're gonna do. You're like a Jedi, and you're just. Like,
I am a little pushy whenever it comes to getting people to do things they don't want to do.
Yeah, I got that.
But I'll never put you in a position where I think you're gonna hurt yourself. No, never mind. I take that back.
This is gonna hurt.
If it's not gonna hurt you though, you're gonna feel pain, but it's not gonna hurt you.
As long as it doesn't injure me.
Won't injure you.
Because someone sent me a video of someone getting shocked and they bite down without like a wallet in their mouth and then they
so that's
shattered
different.
their
That's I think that's more taser. So with the taser, you get hit and it makes everything freeze up. You know.
This won't send a volt through my entire body.
No, you'll feel it. You'll feel it locally. It'll feel burny.
So it'll be like I burnt myself on an oven.
Literally, I think that's the best way to think about it. If you touched a hot stove and that's what it feels like. I
used to work at DP Dough, and I used to make calzones, and it was in college, so I was high a lot, and so I would burn myself on the stove all the time. Like
there you go. I think that's what it's gonna feel.
So
like.
It's like hot stove for stoners.
Yes.
Only this I'm not.
Well,
high.
think about it. What this is used for is
not paralyzing cattle.
No, to get them out of the way. You know, just get them out of the way, and they go, "Oh!"
All right.
And they want to get out of the way.
It's still sucky, but I feel like I can do it. I'm not. Here's the thing. I wasn't going to. 2 weeks ago, you'd said we're going to do it, and I went home, and I'm like, yeah, I don't have to do it. I'm not going to do it. And I said to my wife, this is stupid. I'm not cattle prodding myself. This is stuff that I would have done 15 years ago. This is intern Jerry stuff. This isn't Jerry Valeri now. No way. And she was like, I agree with you 100%. That is idiotic. You can't cattle prod yourself. You have kids. Then she said, no other podcast, no other show, morning show, nobody else is cattle prodding themselves. And I thought, you're right. They're not. I have to do it. I have to do it. We have to do it. We need to be a step above. Sorry, Joe Rogan. You do a lot of things right. You haven't cattle prodded yourself on the air.
We're gonna get out the cattle prod.
So we're gonna win on the cattle prod. But
so here's how I think it should be. I'll stand over there and I'll just hold this, and you can maybe roll your left pant leg up to your knee, and then what you can do is I'll just hold it still, so you're in total control, and then you just get close, and then I'll hit the button, and then you just put your leg on, and you can take it off.
I don't know if I can do that.
Why not?
I don't
know.
You
want me to do it? You mean I can go.
I feel like I need you to do it.
Okay.
I don't think I can do it. I don't know how diabetics give themselves insulin shots. I don't know how they do it.
Like how many times a day? Here's another interesting thing about fear. For me, this is no joke, and I have people that'll attest to this. I have as much trouble jumping off a diving board into a cold pool as I do jumping into a fight.
Okay.
It's just as hard for me.
So you do have fear because you seem
fearless. I'm not fearless. I have tons of fears, but I try. I do like confronting my fears and getting over them.
I like hiding from them and ignoring that they
exist.
I've
never done that. I've always been, but no, jumping into a pool, the same amount of adrenaline as jumping into a stick fight for me. No joke. Isn't that weird?
It is.
And here's the other thing. When I jump off a diving board, I'm pretty sure that takes as much confidence to jump off a diving board as it would to go bungee jumping for me. It's the same.
Like a high dive?
Or no, just a dive into a cold pool.
Okay. Because it's still a shock to your body. You ever do the polar bear plunge? I did that once.
Yes. I've never done the polar bear.
Not officially, but I've jumped into a lake.
Yeah, I've jumped into some really, really cold water before.
How are we going to do this where it can be on camera? Of you shocking me. Should I stand up?
I don't think we can unless it was on your body, which I would say do the leg.
I'm doing the leg.
All right, here. So let me see.
We're on the fly here.
Maybe if I do this.
Oh, I see what you're doing. That camera. And you're going to bring it around on my leg.
Maybe, can you even kind of, if you want to hold it? There you go.
Well, I'll hold it, but the minute you hit me with the cattle prod, I have a sneaking suspicion I'll drop it.
Then maybe, all right, here. Let me come around.
Yeah, you'll have to. I can't see anything from where I'm sitting. This is the dumbest.
All right. So I can hold it.
Okay, wait, wait. Don't just jump into it, Dr. Gruen. Take a second here.
Okay.
Take a second here. Don't. Just a second here. Let me see it for a moment.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. How many volts is this?
I don't know. Does it say?
Don't surprise me with it, please.
It doesn't say. Let's just get it over.
And I'm gonna get to shock you with it.
If you really have to shock me with it, I've already been shocked and I fought with it.
Did you fight with it?
Yeah, I fought with it.
So
I got hit in the side, and I have a little scar from one of those going in.
you couldn't touch yourself with it, could you? Because I'm wondering if I could touch myself with it.
You probably could, but I would recommend not doing that.
Man.
All right, so I think all I do.
Wait, hold
breaking the desk.
I broke the desk. This is gonna. It's gonna be.
I would do the belly.
I
think you should turn it a little bit.
Like this looks like this feels too tender.
Okay. All right.
I don't. But I don't want to be turned. I don't know about this.
You can do it. You can do it.
This
Here
is.
we go.
Wait a second. What kind of? Is it just a burn? It's more than a burn.
No, it just feels like you got burnt.
Here's my question.
I have a feeling you're gonna do it and say that hurt, but it wasn't as bad as
First a question.
Okay.
Are you serious? I won't feel it anywhere else in my body.
It's local. I promise. It's local. Okay, here we go.
In a minute. In a second.
All right, you ready?
Just effing do it.
3.
Wait. I don't know about this.
You can do it.
I can't. Did you just stand there and let someone do it to you?
Yeah, I laid down on a bed.
Like, I think if we were fighting and you hit me with it, I'd be better.
That happened too. No, because then you can't control when it happens. That's the scary part.
I want the other leg, I feel.
No, I think this is good.
Because I want it on the inside of the calf, because this feels too close to my bone. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this.
I think you can do it. All right.
This feels... Hold on, my leg's wet.
So if it makes you feel any better, I had it done to the belly of my right calf as well.
God, wait, but...
You can do it, come on.
But I can't.
It's okay.
How, is it that long?
Less.
Promise me.
Yeah, I'm not going to hold it on you.
What do they say in Dog Brothers when you fight?
Be friends at the end of the day.
I will hate you forever. No, but I don't... Oh, son of a gun!
How was that? You just knocked over my...
I broke your fender.
Well, it wasn't that bad, was it?
That wasn't that bad.
There you go.
I was expecting...
What did it feel like?
It didn't feel like... I'll tell you what it didn't feel like. It didn't feel like my heart was going to explode. I didn't...
I saw a shock when I did it.
I saw a shock. I saw an electric shock. You could actually hit me again with it. It wouldn't even... I'd be better off. Is your guitar broken?
No, you're good.
I don't want to do it again. Man. Did you get the shock at least on the podcast?
I think so.
You scared me so much with it.
Do you need to do it again?
No, I don't. But you made it sound much worse when we were at lunch with Brooke. Because you said that 8 years later, you still felt where it had shocked you.
I can still tell you exactly where it was. Yeah, I can.
All right, that's not too bad.
Yeah, it's a shock. See, you were more scared of the fear. You were scared of the unknown. You didn't know what was going to happen.
I didn't know what was going to happen, so I'm sweating like crazy.
Your hair's all poofed up now.
Is it I look like young Einstein. Man, can we do a podcast next week where we have bunnies or we eat chocolate or something?
I like that idea.
Can it be something like, because we've gone from Burmese pythons
You're right.
to cattle prods. Like, we're pushing my limits here.
How does that feel now? Do you feel where it happened?
I'll tell you what I feel exactly.
Okay.
I feel silly that I was so
Scared of
freaked out about it.
Yeah.
because even when you were doing it, I was just, and then you hit me with it. The fear was worse than the actual.
I told you. That's how fighting is.
You'd be the worst therapist, though. You really would be. You might get results, but it's like, lay on the couch here and let me hit you with this cattle prod.
So
Submit to your fears.
Something in that this is going pretty deep into my psyche. I'm just stone cold and steady when it comes to irrational fears.
Feel like a cattle prod is a rational fear.
But it's not. It didn't hurt you.
It didn't.
So if someone says, like, here's a perfect one. Like, do you remember the first few times you got on an airplane? You're probably like, oh, what if this crashes? What if the engine's gonna go and then this is gonna happen? Like, did you think about that the first time you got on an airplane?
I kind of did. And if you wanna, I can tell you a story about how I tried to calm myself down on an airplane.
Yeah, let's hear this.
And it gets embarrassing. So it was for the first time I ever flew on a plane. I was 21 years old, and I was going to Las Vegas with my friend, and on a plane, and I'm nervous about flying because I'm always cognizant of gravity. Gravity exists, and this is going against everything that I've learned.
You don't have anything attached to you.
You're in a tin can in the sky, and you're going, so fast, and it's scary. So I was like, I've got to relax, and I don't know how you relax, but I tend to relax by me time. I just a little bit of personal Jerry time, get to know myself, get intimate with myself.
Yeah.
So I thought I'll never join the Mile High Club. I was so I'll just join it's like the Half Mile Club.
The Half Mile.
Because by myself. Club. So I went into the bathroom to do that.
Did your thing.
Here's a problem.
How old were you?
21.
21. That was the first time you flew on a plane. 21.
21.
Okay.
You forget that you're moving. You forget that everything's moving and you're always in motion.
Sure.
And so if something becomes, let's just say it, like if I take this water and I throw the water up and the water splashes to the sky,
sure,
some of the water will move towards you. It's weird, but it's kind of how it was. So like, anyways, I get done with intimate time, and at the end of it, the grand finale, it kind of got all over my shirt.
Wow.
And I didn't have anything else.
Wow.
So I just had to walk back to
my seat.
I
honestly didn't know where you're going with the water.
So I had to walk back to my seat, and my friend was like, what happened?
Was it on your ear like Ben Stiller?
No, but it was
something about Mary?
But I looked like an abstract painting, and I was like, can I please have your hoodie? And he said no.
Oh, man.
That was awful.
So
you couldn't get further away from the story fast enough. You're like,
yeah,
no.
I'm done. I'm done. I have visual images in my head.
What did you think I was gonna say?
I don't know.
See, that's your cattle prod.
So here are some fears of mine. Whenever it comes to fighting. So for the most part, dog brother gatherings are really safe. People get broken hands and fingers and feet, and there's broken arms. The one that they kind of talk about a good deal is one time there was a split kneecap. That sounds horrible.
That sounds
from
awful.
A stick.
I cracked knees with a guy last week,
and you got the measles,
and that hurt. It still kind of hurts.
Yeah,
I can't imagine splitting your kneecap,
splitting it in half. So there are little things that happen, and people get knocked out and everything. Pretty much everything that's in MMA plus what could happen when you got hit with a stick. But something that they didn't expect was we also do training blade fights where it's not a real knife, but it's a dull knife. I have one, you have one, and we try to stab each other with them. And they're not like little rubbery things that don't hurt. Like they'll puncture. They won't go in, but they could puncture, which is what I'm going to show you. One of the fights I did, it was the last day of one of the tribal gatherings. Someone was like, "Hey, let's do like a 2-on-2 knife fight." I'm like, "Okay," and I got stabbed in the chest. And it split some of the muscle fibers away from my chest, and it felt like a shooting pain for the rest of the week. It was horrible.
Did it break skin?
No, that didn't. I had a big bruise. Now, here is what does happen. Let me get this kind of going.
I don't want to jump ahead, but is this the introduction of the shock knife, or is this still the play knife?
No, this is... No, this is not a play knife. This is You can go ahead and watch. So these are training blades. Look at where this goes. Boom, right into the armpit.
I should have said play knife. These are definitely not play
Yeah,
knives.
No, they're luminous trainers. And then he said, wait.
I guess you got me there. It's okay.
I think he's mine.
Let's have Doc look at that.
She-Med, I think is his name. So that's
Wild at home.
That's almost exactly the same one that we got in.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Good target.
I gotta focus. Now, a couple of things. First, tell us what you see right there as far as the injury here, and then also tell us what you think would be the medical consequences of a real knife hitting there.
Well, this has gone completely through the skin. That's underlying fat and muscle that you see under there. You got some major arteries in here, so if you're gone in much deeper, the big radial artery is coming down this side of the arm. So, and if it's, I don't see the angle, but if the angle is this way, you're looking at the lung. If the angle is this way, you're looking at the radial artery.
Pretty much on to me.
Yeah, sorry. I was looking forward to fighting you next open gathering too. So,
He's done for the day, or what's your thought for the day here?
let me get a look at him, and we'll decide in a minute.
All right, when you have it, if you wouldn't mind coming back and telling the folks at home.
Sure.
Okay.
It's not blade knife, so I think it's fine.
Yeah.
But isn't it scary because that dude knows how to handle a knife, and
Better
yet,
believe it.
And if that was a real knife fight and he was fighting for his life, who knows how that goes?
You better believe it. Let me see. Where was that knife?
What are you looking for?
Trying to find. There's another one that's equally disturbing. I don't know where it is.
So
It might be on the Dog Brothers site.
So you fought with those once, the training knives.
Oh no, I fought with training knives countless times. I can't. We usually warm up with the knife fights.
Does anyone ever fight at Dog Brothers without a weapon?
We've done no weapon versus weapon, but we don't do like MMA fights. Just go do an MMA fight.
Yeah.
You know, this is more for. You can't just go fight with weapons. I mean, I guess you could, but
You really can't. I mean, it's not a. I don't know if people, although I'm telling you, put it on pay-per-view, people would watch it.
I think so too. They've tried a few times, and there's the UFC. Dog Brothers approached the UFC, and they said that it was just too intense. That they wouldn't want to put it.
Well, you don't want boxing commissions and people to start sanctioning and getting involved, anyways, would you?
No.
I'm excited about Dog Brothers, and they're coming to town soon, aren't they?
Yeah. We're gonna have a camp June. I want to say 10th through the 12th or something like that.
Like, I don't want you or the listener to ever get bored with me bringing up weapons or Dog Brothers, but I bring it up more than you do, and I've never been involved with it because it's fascinating to me. So if we get to actually get one of them on the podcast, that would be awesome.
Sure. So the three people that are coming. Let me see. Why is this not switching? The three people that are coming are Eric Naus, Benjamin Rittner, and Mark Denny. They're all coming, and they're going to be doing the seminar. So there's going to be three of them.
We have one mic.
Yeah. Okay.
But we could make them fight with sticks to see who gets it.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, that's right. So we have one extra mic. We'll have to figure that out. We could have one of them on at a time or something like that, or we could maybe do two chairs, one mic. Something.
Would you ever have a gathering here, or you couldn't because you guys don't use rings or octagons or anything?
You could if you wanted to. There's the potential of Sunday we'll have some sparring, but no, we wouldn't want to do a gathering here. No. So public gatherings, you have spectators, and you want to be able to have it in a big enough. I mean, right here we could have fighting in the ring in the octagon, and then have spectators all around. We could probably have maybe 500 people in here, which is a lot of people.
It'd be packed.
But no, I just don't think it's the right venue. So, but no,
I just like having that stuff close.
Yeah.
Like when a Jar and Chai came, I was like, oh, okay, it's a mile from my house. This is great.
You got to go, yeah. And that's the nice thing about CPA MMA is we're centrally located to all the major cities on the East Coast. New York, 4 hours. DC under 4 hours, Philly 3-ish, yeah,
Pittsburgh,
Harrisburg,
3-ish.
Pittsburgh, Cleveland, Toronto. So all we're kind of just right in the middle where everybody can drive. So, and that's why I think that's the cool thing about living here too, is you get all the big cities that have all the big seminars. I mean, during seminar season, I try to go to a seminar at least twice a month, wherever it is, wherever Chai might be, I'll go visit him. I think I figured out, on average, I've been seeing him about anywhere from 8 to 12 times a year for seminars. And most people, they only see him once whenever he comes. So that's a cool thing about our location on the East Coast.
What's your favorite weapon to watch people fight with?
Probably just single stick. I like double stick's interesting, but you can't grab with your hand. Single stick, you can grab the stick with either hand. You can grab another arm with either hand. You can clinch, you can grapple, and you can still have your stick involved.
I'd like to see whips. I'd like to see all kinds of crazy stuff.
Whips, yeah, people do whips. The nice thing about whips with gatherings is we're wearing fencing masks, so you don't have to worry about it. I mean, because a whip could
Take
jack up your eye, yeah. Or it could pull a nostril off or something, probably.
Really?
Probably. I mean, they can cut.
I've only seen whips used for like Indiana Jones stuff.
Yeah. So honestly, I don't think they're very practical because you can just kind of rush in on them, and then they're just a long range weapon. But no, I would say single stick is probably my favorite.
That's good. I don't want to do it. Like, well, I'm just sitting here. I'm still rubbing my leg too.
How's that feel?
It feels fine. I see a mark. There's like a little mark.
Oh yeah.
It's
Well,
just-
it made a spark whenever it hit.
Is that normal?
I don't know. I've only been hit with that.
You make me crazy.
A
You
cattle
acted like you
prod,
were.
like once.
You acted like you built the thing. Like
No, I told you.
You
I
know
don't- I
how
don't
the inner
much-
workings.
How many volts or watts or whatever the heck is
Man, I've
that.
got 2 big cattle prod nipples on my leg at this point.
Do you?
Like this right here. Just like little ones.
Huh.
But you still hit me in a spot where I don't have hair. So
Nice.
that's my whole leg. That's like the whole leg.
Yeah. So is the rest of your family hairless?
My dad had weird legs like this too, but not really. Like it's
Just your dad. So
super
you got
tiny
your dad's hair
legs.
pattern. Do you guys have the same hair pattern on the head?
I'm afraid that will happen.
Oh, so he's more balding.
Here's how Dad was forever. He had the most magical comb over you've ever seen in your entire
Nice.
life. He was super bald, but you wouldn't
How
know
old
it.
was he when he started going bald?
I don't know. I was probably like 40s to 50s.
Okay.
And like he'd get out of the pool and there'd be like 2 strings of hair in front of his face.
Homer
and
Simpson.
then it would dry and he had a full head of hair. He always looked like he had a full head of hair, but it was like this poofy comb over magic that he was pulling. When he got cancer, this was interesting to me. When he got cancer and he did all the chemo and all the radiation and everything, they shaved his head, what he did have. That was gone. And then for a time he went into remission and the hair grew back in places he didn't have it.
Weird.
Like his hair grew back. He had like a full head
No
of
way.
very short hair.
Huh.
And then it never unfortunately went long enough to see if it would keep growing or whatever. He lost
Gotcha.
again and everything went south. But it was weird because he didn't have hair there. Then he had chemo and radiation
And it grew back.
and it grew back.
Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, I think I know. I get my hair pattern from my mom's side. Apparently, it's your mom's dad that you get your hair from. So what about your mom's dad?
He was super bald.
He was super bald.
It's just I'm going to be bald. I just don't know how I want to go bald. Do I just want to let it go? Like you've got this going on here with the
No,
receding
see, you're
hairline.
not. That's not that bad.
It's awful to me.
No.
It seems so upsetting. If it just keeps going that way, am I gonna have to shave my head?
No, I don't think you're gonna.
I don't want to be a shaved head guy because it looks good on you, but my head is the size of a moon. It's like a cantaloupe.
I think it would look good. For me, it was like, do you deal with it and you do something and try to hold on to your.
Put the cattle prod down. Please.
Or do you deal with it and try to hold on to your youth and do whatever hair replacement or whatever the heck it is, or do you just own up and just say screw it and shave your head? Or you have people like the barn cat where he's like, I'm not shaving my head, I'm going bald, and I'm gonna go bald and I'm going to have hair, and that's what I want.
And that's what
Screw
you're
it.
going to do.
Yeah.
I think when people try to fix it, that's when they look ridiculous. You have
Yeah.
you have women getting all this plastic surgery, and they end up looking like a monster.
They do.
That someone put together in the basement with a blindfold on.
That's very good. That's exactly what I would think.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It looks like a crayon that is melted in the back seat of somebody's car. It's awful. You've got dudes, 70-year-old guys with jet black hair.
That
That's
looks
not
weird.
normal. It's Why don't you just let it go?
Yeah,
you know
that looks weird.
Do you have shoe polish in your beard, like just for men and that kind of stuff? I see I have a little white going on. I'm not going to fix that. I'm either going to shave the beard or I'm going to turn into Santa Claus.
You know who I'm jealous of is the people with salt and pepper hair. Salt and pepper hair is where it's at.
It's distinguished.
Oh, like you look so tough with salt and pepper hair. You look old, but not really. So if you're in shape and you have salt and pepper hair, like it's the best of both worlds. You look young, but yeah, you look.
My dad had salt and pepper. He had the salt and pepper hair.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I'm going to get it or not.
My grandfather, his hair went white in his 20s. White, and he still has white hair, obviously.
But he still has hair.
Yeah. He doesn't have it all, but it was white from his 20s on. That's on my dad's side. My other grandfather, he just has one little poof right here that he kind of holds on to, and then
I don't
he's
know
got
if
the
it's a
crown.
fear or a superstition or what it is, but there are certain things I won't do. Maybe it's just me working with misinformation because I'm afraid it will make me lose my hair.
Like what?
Like I don't wear hats very often at all.
Yeah, I think that's total.
I used to wear hats all the time, and then my grandma would always say, "You wear hats, and it's gonna."
I think where that came from was a lot of men go bald and a lot of men wear hats, so people thought there has to be a connection.
Right, and then hair dryers.
Hair dryers.
My grandma used to say all the time. Grandma Espy would say, "Your dad uses a hair dryer, and that's why he's losing his hair." And so now I won't use a hair dryer, and I wear hats sometimes, but not very often.
Yeah.
Not at all, because I don't want to.
I don't think it has anything to do with it.
I don't want to speed it up.
It's all genetics. That's all it is.
You think that?
Yeah. No, I know that. I think it's 100% genetics.
So are we gonna get a cold pool for you to jump in next week? Like
I don't know.
I'm trying to think of what to do to you. I feel like it's killing me.
I don't know. Something I don't think I will ever do is skydive.
Me either. That's stupid.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever skydive.
I hate to take someone's hobby or passion and say that's stupid, but guess what? If that's your hobby or passion, you deserve to have gravity smash you into a million pieces.
Like they talk about people whose chutes don't open and they bounce. Nope. Not interested.
Don't need that.
Was it Travis Pastrana that did a Red Bull commercial and jumped out of the plane without a chute and then hooked onto somebody that had one?
Right.
That's crazy.
Did you see the guy that skydive out of a space shuttle like a year ago?
No, but I have seen like the highest skydive ever or whatever where it was out of a balloon.
This guy was in a shuttle, like he was out of orbit, just out. He was just out of just out of our atmosphere, and then
Wow.
it was a Red Bull thing. And
Well, I guess I did see that.
And then he went all the way down.
That's crazy. Apparently, whenever you're out of whatever, I don't know if it's the troposphere or whatever the heck it is, but when you're falling and there's no air around you, you don't hear anything. So it just kind of feels like you're floating. And then as soon as you hit the atmosphere and there's oxygen and carbon dioxide,
Then you
and
feel the
whatnot,
wind.
and you're going a million miles an hour.
Forget it. Who needs that?
No.
I saw a video, and I wish I could give you the description so you could pull it up quickly for somebody. I don't even know how you'd find it, but I saw people on top of buildings with no edges on hoverboards.
Oh, I did see that. And they're going, "Whoop."
Yeah, or doing cartwheels and
Screw
stuff.
that.
Jumping from building to building.
There's also one that's recent where the guy slips and falls off of a building. And that's it. That's the whole clip.
Have you ever seen Faces of Death?
What's that?
I was in high school, and it was this tape.
Is it like a snuff film?
It sure felt like it. It's people dying. It's called Faces of Death, and you could get it at the video store.
Oh my
And
God.
someone brought it over, and we're like, "Look at this, Faces of Death." And like one of it you saw in another country, someone had videotaped a castration. It was basically awful parts of the internet before the internet was existed.
And you could rent it?
And you rented it. Faces of Death 3. And
Oh my God.
it was someone trapped on a train track. You saw that. Then you saw there was news footage that had never been released of somebody. They were standing on a ledge and they jumped. And I was like, I'm turning green. Can we stop watching this?
I can't watch things. I can't watch like emaciated dogs on Facebook. I'm like, hide that.
Well, there's a guy I work with that's like that, but not for humans. Like, he could watch Two Girls, One Cup. He could watch all these videos with people, and like, it doesn't matter. Like, he could.
But when it comes to animals,
oh, you couldn't even you could kill a human being in front of him, and I feel like he wouldn't even blink. But if you kicked a puppy, he would just lose his mind.
Yeah, I can't.
I don't like either of them. How about we don't like all of that?
Yeah, I don't like all of it. The thing I have trouble with is a lot of times with Dog Brothers, we'll like kind of analyze a film and how like a stabbing went. I can't even watch those. You know, like, just the idea that, and here's an interesting topic. Just people that post crap on Facebook for shock value. It's shock posts, you know?
The ones where like there's like a bloody dog or something,
whatever, and they have to reshare it, or people like, man, we had that one apartment building that had a caught on fire.
Yeah,
like everybody's sharing it. Like, I don't need to go to you for the news, for the local news or for the national news or anything. Right. The only reason you're posting it is for shock value. You know,
you just want to be look at this. There's a
look
fire.
At this, and then people go, oh, that's horrible, and you go, yeah, and like. That is such a weird phenomenon that people have to post things for shock value.
I have there were a couple people who were like, yeah, we went over to watch the fire.
That's messed up.
I was like, wow, that's crazy. I have another friend that went over to the fire too because he's an alpha firefighter.
Yeah.
And that's why he went.
Yeah.
What were you doing there? Having popcorn and just enjoying the show?
Watching people, you know.
I used to live there in college. That was where I had an apartment, and I'm surprised it hasn't burned down already.
We came home from a trip one summer, and we smelled smoke. And this is at our house. And we were like, what the heck? So we followed the smoke, and there was an apartment building behind us on fire. And I walked by, and I felt bad. There's people crying. There's police officers saying, no, you can't go in there. And they're like, no, but my cat's in there. And then they're like, well, you shouldn't have any cats because the building doesn't allow animals, you know. Like, oh, just to get pleasure out of other people's misfortune, you know. And that's not even like you failed. That's like something that horribly went wrong that you had no control over, you know.
That's the reason why when someone gets into an accident on the highway, there's such a huge traffic backup.
Because everybody wants to see it.
Everybody's slowing down just enough to see the wreckage and is there a body bag?
Exactly. Yeah. You know, a lot of people are like, I might see a dead body, and they kind of get off on that.
Yeah, and they will never say that, and I don't even know if they think that, but they are. I mean, they'll think, oh, how tragic or how awful, but they're like, ooh, let me look inside and see.
Yeah.
There's still a part of you that wants to see it.
You know, one of my favorite childhood movies, which I actually watched this week, is Stand By Me. Have you seen that movie?
Great movie. Awesome
movie. That's not Spielberg. That's
I think it is.
Is it?
No, it's the Titanic guy.
Is it?
I don't know. I mean, I know who's in it, but I don't know who directed it.
No. Yeah, whoever wrote Stand By Me. I want to say that it was originally called The Body or something like that.
Corey Feldman was in it. That dude is a jerk, by the way.
Stand By Me.
1986, Rob Reiner.
Yeah, but he didn't write it. Stephen King wrote it. There we go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's probably a whole bunch of people listening right now like, duh! It took you like 2 minutes to figure that out.
I did not know that was a Stephen King book.
How awesome is that? But yeah, I want to say it was The Body? Is what it was. It was originally a novel called The Body. So anyway, what I'm getting at is what tips them off is the one little kid hears his brothers talk about how some kid got hit by a train. They're like, oh, let's go see a dead body. And then when they get there, they realize that all of that, like that hype of I want to see a dead body, like they didn't want to see a dead body, you know? That wasn't what it was
You
about.
want it's almost like you want to be kind of scared, but you want to go into a haunted house that's run at an amusement park. Like you want to, they scared me, but I never was in danger. But you don't want to go into a real house that could be haunted.
No, you're right.
You know what I mean? And I don't even want to go into those fake haunted houses at amusement parks.
Those bug you?
I hate the ones where they're like in your face and they're like, "Blah, blah, blah, blah."
Yeah, that would get annoying.
Forget it, man. Forget it. My sister scarred me forever. I was 8 years old and she let me watch Nightmare on Elm Street. And of all the scary movies to let someone watch, it couldn't be Jason, where he's in the woods. I just stay out of the woods. I just won't go to Camp Crystal Lake or whatever the heck. Halloween, I can handle that. Mike Myers doesn't live in this town.
Sure.
But Freddy gets you when you're sleeping. So now all of a sudden, I'm sitting up in my G.I. Joe tent with my He-Man, prying my eyes open, terrified to go to sleep.
Wow.
Terrified.
I can't think of any movies like that affected me, like they legit scared. You want to know a weird one? This was whenever I was in college. All I saw was the preview for an American werewolf in Paris. Did you ever see that movie?
With Benicio del Toro? That was the remake.
Maybe. Yeah.
That was the remake. I don't know the original.
It was horrible. It was a horrible movie. But what freaked me out was in the preview for it, just the people turning into werewolves and like how realistic it was back then. And I had nightmares about it. I was in college. I'm like, I'm not scared. I'll watch that movie. I watched it. It didn't bug me at all. Boom, nightmares.
Nightmares.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I get nightmares all the time. I have always had nightmares.
So what are your nightmares usually about?
They're weird. Like I'm not the one that I have has been recurring since I was a kid, and I actually don't want to talk about it. Like I don't.
Okay.
I just don't say it out loud because I haven't had it in forever.
Yeah.
And then I say it out loud, and then it starts showing back
So
up
you
again.
still have it
I still
from a kid.
Yes.
Wow.
But
And
it's not a Freddy Krueger one.
Is it
wasn't.
like step by step? It's the exact same.
Yeah, it really is. Like
Wow.
I just see it, and sometimes I'm like lucid dreaming where I'm just like, no.
This isn't happening.
Turn around,
Yeah.
walk down the stairs. Don't go up the
Don't
stairs.
go
Go
up the
down the
stairs.
stairs, and then I wake up. But it's for me. It's like every night I dream. This is gonna make me sound like a psychopath, but every night when I dream, it might not be a total nightmare, but every dream at some point has some kind of like nightmarish quality to it.
That's interesting. I have some really like trippy dreams, especially when I take like Alpha Brain.
Alpha Brain will do it. That
my
one time
God.
I took Alpha Brain, it was like, whoo, you opened all the doors.
It's crazy. So here's a reoccurring nightmare that I had, and this was whenever I lived in Fairbrook, which is off of Whitehall all the way down here past Pine Grove. We lived across from a graveyard, and I didn't know this at the time because I lived there till I was like 4. So I had no clue that there was a graveyard across the road until my dad told me later on, oh yeah, you remember we had a graveyard across the road. So, which by the way, ghost stories and stuff, that would be an awesome podcast. I might even, we're running out of time, but I might have time to show you or share one with you. But this one, so here's my reoccurring dream. I'm in that house that I grew up in. I think I'm 2 years old. No, I'm at least 3, I think. And the mountains, which ironically you can pretty much look out of this window and you can see the mountains, the mountain range. A monster like where the wild things are.
Yeah.
A monster comes out of the mountains, comes to the front door, knocks. I open the door. Like this is so vivid for me. I open the door and he's not there, but I leave the door open and I run back to my room. And then I hear,
shut the door, dude.
I know, I didn't shut it. And I'm in my room and I have the door shut and I think he's right outside. Get this. This is when I was like 3. How screwed up is this? Like a stethoscope. I take the little thing from my little, whatever you want to call this.
Yeah, the hoodie strings.
Hoodie strings. Do they have a name?
Hoodie strings.
Okay, hoodie strings.
I'm pretty sure.
And I put it up to the door like a stethoscope.
Yeah.
I put it up to the door and this monster pulls the string and slams me against the inside of the door. Like he pulls the string through the door, slams me up against the door, and that's where I wake up every time. I had that reoccurring dream probably from whenever I was around 3 till I was 8 or 9, every night.
You don't have it anymore, though.
No, I haven't had it for forever. But that's how. But it is vivid.
Wow.
Like it is crazy how many times I had that dream. So, but I used to have that. I don't have it anymore.
Yeah, I still have mine all the time, and I can't even.
That's crazy that it's from whenever you were younger.
And one thing about it has changed over time.
Huh.
But the setting, everything, the order that it takes place,
Everything's all
me
the
being
same.
stupid and doing the same thing over and over again, every time.
Yeah. So here's a quick ghost story that I'll share with you. This is my only ghost story, and it's a real story. So I apologize because the ending isn't very elaborate or whatnot, and no one dies and whatnot. But
I'll punch up the ending at the end.
Okay. But this is a true story.
Until I get involved.
My dad and I were hunting one year. And we would usually, our cabin was on one mountain, and then we would go down a valley and go up to another mountain, and that's where we would hunt. And we're walking around all quiet because we're hunting. Dude comes flying out of the woods, and then he's like, "You gotta help." He's in like a really old like Woolrich kind of plaid coat, and he has like an old Woolrich hat, but he's in his like 20s or whatnot. I didn't think anything of it. I don't remember what kind of rifle he had. But he's like, "You gotta help. My friend over here had a heart attack. He's against the tree. Can you please go be with him while I go get help?" And we're like, "Of course." Like, "Where is he?" And he's like, "Oh, he's right over this hill." So we run over this hill and we're like, hey, trying to find him, looking all around. We must have searched for like an hour and a half. Can't find anything.
Panicked.
Yeah, and we're flipping out, like trying to find this guy. We're like, "Oh my God, like how horrible would we feel if this guy dies?" So that kind of, we get to the point where we're like, that dude must have been screwing with us. Like, what the heck?
That's an awful thing to do to somebody.
Yeah. So we go home that night, never think anything of it. Well, fast forward a few years later, I'm like, "Dad, do you remember when that happened?" He's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Wasn't that a little weird?" He's like, "That was really weird." And it was almost like I was confirming with him, like that it actually happened. So I start researching deaths in the area for that year. Nothing. No one died that year in that area.
Yeah, nobody was shot hunting in that area.
No one shot. No one had a heart attack. You usually have a few of those. No one that year. And I start, so we know that didn't happen. And then I'm like, I wonder if I just search guy has heart attack, Renova, I think Carthus, Keating, that's kind of the area. Guy has heart attack while hunting. I wonder if I'll find anything. And I really dug for it. I found a dude in like 1929 or whatever that died of a heart attack in the exact same area, and something like they found him like the week later, and no freaking joke, there is a picture of the dude in a Woolrich freaking coat with the Woolrich freaking hat on.
Oh my gosh.
So I feel like look at this. Look
at me.
Goosebumps. Like, how freaky.
Show yours.
Like, goosebumps. So
I don't need to punch that story up at all.
Yeah.
My nipples are hard.
Nipples are hard.
They are.
So,
Man.
So that's the story. Now, I honestly, I can't prove anything or whatnot, but, and I don't really believe in ghosts, but that freaking happened. So who can explain it?
He came to let somebody know he died in the woods.
I think, yeah, if I was like a ghost believer and whatnot, I think what happened was, he died, and then, he was trying to save himself. If I was like a ghost believer.
Right. He was. Did he look like a person?
Oh yeah, no, it was a legit person. I mean, yeah.
He didn't look weird or.
Nope. No, he, like I said, the only thing that was strange, I remember it was a black and red Woolrich coat. And it was like an old-fashioned coat. Old-fashioned red hat that kind of had the little flappy things.
Right.
Yeah. So there's one of my ghost stories. That's
Man.
my one and only ghost story. I don't have any others.
I have a couple, but nothing like that. I mean, that's like legit. That's a legitimate one.
Yeah.
Mine
I
are
told that one to, I think I told it to Eric Paulson, or it might have been Chai. And they were like, "So that's your story?" I'm like, "I guess so. I guess it's not cool enough."
So that's your story. Well, then you have to punch it up with them, and then he came back and ate me.
Yeah.
But that did it for me. I don't like scary stuff, so that's it. Cattle prods, ghost stories. I'm done with today. Yeah,
today's been a different kind of podcast.
Yeah, my leg doesn't hurt anymore. You were right. I hate to say it. You were right. It was.
You got over a fear. How much thinking and worrying did you have on that?
More than I care to admit.
There you go.
More than I care to admit.
So next time I say, "Shut up, Jerry, do it," you'll be fine.
By the way, you were
You'll get over it.
way too into it.
I just wanted to get it over with, so you would get it over with.
Like like I get hurt sometimes, and you're just like, "You'll be fine. Get out of the ring." But this you came around, you were like, "Let me get in here."
I just want to get it over with.
Well, it's over with.
It is. It is. This will go back into my drawer. I don't think I'll ever fight with it or anything again. But
I wouldn't use it against an intruder because I don't think it would hurt enough.
Remember, I barely went to you. I think if you went,
if you planted somebody with it, you're right.
Yeah, and you literally poked it into them, I think they would be like, "What the frick is happening?"
I think they'd shut down.
Yeah. The problem is it's a close range weapon, you know. So if it was a home invasion or whatnot, you know, potentially, you know, shotgun or something might do the trick a little bit better. Oh, he's behind that wall.
Let's not play with those next time.
No, I'll never shoot you. I'll never hurt you. I'll never do anything that I think would hurt or harm you in any way. So, all right. I think we went for almost an hour and a half.
Look at that. I'll probably be in trouble when I get home.
Cool. That happens.
What else is new?
I was in trouble at home before I came here, so.
Oh, it happens to the best of us.
It does.
Yeah.
You can't say anything. You just smile and move on.
Well, if you're afraid you're still in trouble when you get home, take the cattle prod.
There you go. There is a legit fear that I have. All right.
Good night podcast.
Good night podcast.